It's easy to watch Jujutsu Kaisen and almost instantly pick out the fan favorites. Toji, Nanami, Todo, the list goes on. We see glimpses of their lives here and there and their role in the larger world around them, whether that's their job or being a super idol fan or even just gambling. That, plus their well thought out power sets, build them up as characters worth rooting for. Well, I mean, he likes killing teenagers. Is that really worth rooting for? But what about the characters that are stronger than most others, but aren't as recognized for their feats? The ones whose techniques are massively OP, yet aren't as focused on. The underrated, underappreciated, undermined, underestimated underdogs. That's right, I'm talking about Jogo. Right from the beginning of JJK, we can see what Jogo's capable of. If he doesn't keep his emotions in check just a little bit, the results could be catastrophic. If he's in a rush, even worse. If he's not holding back, so much worse. Yes, I'm aware that people think it's not that deep, that Jogo isn't a big deal, that he's just another curse on the totem pole. But he's more than just an oversized minion. He's got power and an endgame. He has enough firepower to destroy several buildings and severely injure many grade 1 sorcerers in the blink of an eye. He can heal very quickly, like regrowing the rest of his body after being decapitated, regenerating part of his head, regrowing limbs in the midst of battle. But despite being a special grade curse, aka one of the most powerful curses that currently exists, he gets his rear handed to himself a lot in the series. The reason for this? Jogo is the power scale. But what is power scaling? Nice. To determine the extent of a character's power scaling shows how strong someone is by comparing their achievements and abilities to others who may be equally as strong as them or even stronger. For example, if character 1 is more powerful than character 2, and character 2 is more powerful than character 3, then logically, through scaling, we can deduce that character 1 is also more powerful than character 3. Jogo is actually a perfect example of this. Pseudo Gato mentions that Jogo's strength is equal to that of 8 or 9 of Sukuna's fingers. Keep in mind, the special grade that Megumi and Yuji fought in the Fearsome Womb arc contained only 1 finger, and that was already difficult to beat. When you see Jogo compared to sorcerers or even other curses, you can see how much more experienced and deadly he is. For example, when Dagon fought several sorcerers and activated his domain, he was almost able to overpower every single one of them if Toji Fushiguro hadn't appeared. For Jogo, however, just activating his curse technique in the presence of non-sorcerers would set them ablaze, and the same would go for any Jujutsu sorcerers, especially those who entered his domain. The fact that he was able to take out Naobito, a special grade 1 sorcerer, and severely injure Nanami, a grade 1 sorcerer, all in mere seconds, showed how destructive of a curse he was compared to others. I could pretty confidently say that apart from Mahito, he was the most powerful of the disaster curses. Now compare him to Gojo, aka the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer. During their first fight, Jogo holds his own against Jogo holds his own against Gojo, even managing to activate his domain expansion on him. Any other sorcerer would have been fried in his domain, but Gojo manages to activate his own domain and beats him easily. However, this wasn't meant to show how weak Jogo is, but rather it set up Gojo's status as the strongest. At this point in the manga, Jogo's role is to be a challenge to Gojo. Not someone he can one-shot in 3 seconds, but someone who can give him a good time. Wait, not like that. We see Jogo get his mojo back when he emerges in Shibuya to slow down Gojo. In their rematch, he's able to use domain amplification, a technique that covers himself in a domain to negate opponent's techniques. Again, he gives him a good fight and slows him down for long enough without dying. But then, we get one of the best battles in the anime, and one of the best I've seen anywhere. After Sukuna re-emerges thanks to Jogo's help, he gives him a chance to make a name for himself. The result is utterly devastating. Jogo ultimately meets his match, not before setting back Japan's economy by several years. Actually, who are we kidding? They're going to be up and running before Boxing Day, to be honest. But the majority of the destruction caused in Shibuya wasn't from Sukuna, it was from Jogo. His maximum technique, Meteor, was enough to level a huge portion of Shibuya. A maximum technique is supposed to be a more concentrated version of a curse technique, and is one of the most powerful abilities after domain expansion. Take a curse technique, like Jogo's Disaster Flames, then focus it into maximum energy output. This creates a really powerful technique, like Meteor, which is only surpassed in power by a domain, like Coffin of the Iron Mountain. And to my knowledge, Jogo is the only character who has used both a maximum technique and a domain. Gato doesn't really count in this case because while he has Uzumaki as a maximum technique to control other curses, and therefore their domains, He has never used his own domain. We don't even know if he had one, to be honest. With all these physical feats in his arsenal, the only thing holding Jogo back from victory was his mindset. He legitimately thought he could beat Gojo, and intended to, though we all know he wouldn't be able to kill the strongest Jujutsu sorcerer alive. But when it came to Sukuna, he had already fulfilled his goal. He fed him the 10 fingers and asked for his help in order to bring about the Age of Curses. When Sukuna refused to make a binding vow, instead challenging him to land one hit in exchange for helping his cause, Jogo already knew he was fighting an uphill battle. From the start of the fight, he already had a submissive mindset as a result of being defeated by Gojo. This prevented him from focusing on landing a hit on Sukuna. Instead, he was being goaded and led away from his goal and towards Sukuna's goal, to awaken the fire within Jogo. See, Sukuna recognized that Jogo had the physical capability of unleashing his full potential. He noted that if he didn't get out of the way of Meteor, it definitely would have injured him. His insults and taunts were an invitation for Jogo to try harder. He wanted him to reach the height that Jogo himself couldn't even see. It's quite possible that if Jogo wasn't so focused on surviving the battle, but instead tried to actually land a hit on Sukuna no matter his own outcome, the Shibuya incident may have turned out much worse for Jujutsu Society and the rest of Japan. One could even argue that Sukuna was just playing with Jogo, and he never even stood a chance to land a hit on Sukuna. But while Jogo lost against both Gojo and Sukuna, they were both considered the strongest of their respective sides. He was able to hold his own against both of them, and him being the runner-up in terms of power just shows how resilient he is. He's just really unlucky with the matchups he got, but it would have been cool to see him face other characters too. Indeed, Sukuna was right. Jogo was strong.
Thank you for watching the video. If you want to see more, please be sure to like and subscribe. This is the first in a series of videos. This will be the first of many, hopefully. And I also have a blog that has reviews and other posts on it. The link to the blog is in my bio, so please check it out. Take care, guys.